Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and super excited to be joining you guys today for a blog hop that is celebrating Canada's 150th anniversary. And for this, Scrap and Stamp in Canada is doing an exclusive blog hop using this stamp set by Tailored Expressions that was designed exclusively for them, and it is called Busy Beaver. It's absolutely adorable. So I stamped the image along with the little log of wood that is also in this little set onto some Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. And I used Hero Art's Intense Black ink, which is a Copic marker friendly ink. This is actually my first time using it. I'm impressed. So stamped it with the black ink, and then I am quickly and easily coloring this in with Copic markers. So I've got the colors listed here on the screen, and I just started from darkest to lightest. And in the process discovered that my E33 marker is quite dry, so I need to refill it big time. You can tell when they start getting dry because it's really hard to blend with them. Like, there's just not as much color coming out. You can really almost start seeing streaks. That's when it's time to refill. So I just made do because I need to get this card done. So I colored everything in, starting from darkest to lightest, and then added a little bit of R20 to the insides of his ears and his cheeks. And then I colored the little log, and then once I was done coloring, there's a little coordinating die set for this. So I taped those into place with MICROPORE tape and ran that through my Big Shot. And then I also ran through a stitched circle die, and I die cut some Kraft cardstock. And I wanted to create kind of a little scene, basically. So what I ended up doing was pulling out a couple of my Distress Oxide inks. And I'm using peeled paint for the green. And I'm just actually using the scrap of white cardstock that I'd used to color the image, just to mask off a bottom portion of this. And then I'm just sponging the Oxide ink directly onto the scrap cardstock and pulling it onto the Kraft cardstock. So one thing I love, I think the most about Distress Oxides is how they look on darker cardstock, especially Kraft. So I did that, and then I grabbed the MFT Cloud Stencil here, and I'm using Broken China Distress ink and just placing the stencil and then doing the same thing. Applying ink basically to the stencil, and then I'm kind of pulling it off the stencil and onto the cardstock. So I created a fun little background here for my main images, and then I'm going to use foam tape to adhere these to the actual background. So I just pull off pieces of foam tape and apply them to the back of the beaver and then the back of the little log here, and then that way I can adhere them to my little background to create my fun little scene. So I did all that, and then in the meantime I had run through my Big Shot again some light green cardstock using one of the We Are Memory Keepers folders, which I have sitting here, and I don't have labeled. This is the basket weave one. I should hopefully have it linked in the supplies. Anyway, ran that through my machine to create all this fun 3D texture. This is the next level embossing folder. So I'd run that through. And then there's a bunch of sentiments that come in this little set, which are very Canadian. So I used the Heard It's Your Birthday A sentiment, and I'm going to stamp it onto this strip of red cardstock. I treated the red cardstock with my anti-static powder tool first, and then I'm going to ink up the stamp with Versamark ink and stamp it onto the red cardstock, and I'm going to coat it with some Hero Art's white embossing powder. So once I've got that coated, I can melt that with my heat tool. So tapped off the excess, got out my heat tool, completely melted that, and then trimmed it down to a narrower little strip here. So once I've got that trimmed down, there's this fun little maple leaf die, and die cut that from some Kraft cardstock as well as the same red, and then remove the little maple leaf so I can attach the red to the center of the Kraft cardstock. And then I just flipped it over and used a piece of Scotch tape to hold that into place. And then to attach my little main image to this textured background, I just used some more foam tape. And then had to fiddle around a little bit to decide what I wanted to do, because I wanted to make it look like the little maple leaf medallion was attached to the sentiment. So I'm just using some Lawn Fawn twine here. And I just wrapped a piece around each end of the sentiment and then taped it on the back to hold it into place. And on the second one on the right there, I threaded it through that little maple leaf medallion. and then attached that to my card with some foam tape. And then I grabbed some red, some Ladybug red sprinkles from Doodlebug and just attached those to my card front just to pull in a little bit more of that red for some continuity here. And then on the inside of the card, I just kept it simple and stamped another sentiment from the set where it says, "I hope it's awesome." So I inked that up with the intense black ink and then stamped that into place. And then to adhere my card front, I'm just using my tonic Nuvo glue again and applying a really thin amount. It looks like I'm applying a lot, but again, I'm only applying a really thin amount. I can't stress this enough. When you're using liquid adhesives, you don't want to use too much because you'll warp your cardstock. But I applied that in place and made sure to kind of hold it into place because this is so textured to get it completely adhered. And that finished off my card. So really fun and quick and easy little Canada 150 birthday for anyone sort of a card. I will have links below the video to my blog post with links to all the supplies used, as well as info about the blog hop and the giveaway going on. So check that out in the description box below if you're interested. And thank you all so much for watching. Bye.